Uyo, uko, kuno, abo, pano. Mama wanna get it, mama wanna get it nice. I know food I miss, I know food I tell, I know kaya mari. Kamba kwe doti kom, wengere doti kom usasai. Kamba kwe anogaya mari.
Kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugova ne.com. Kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotara mari vanosiya mari. Kamba kwe vanotara feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei. Vanhu terere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei. Mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere. Kamba kwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotara straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence
Entertainment, current affairs and news. Kamba kwe doti kom usasarire. Kamba kwe anogaya mari.
Right. 16 June 2022. And today I've got a movie. So what I have today is a story that is unbelievable. And you know, I like to go deeper into a story. I don't like it when people just take things for granted. So what I normally do is I try to find both sides of a story and I bring it to you. Then you make your own judgment. And what I'm going to give you today is something that you would not believe if it was not true, but it's true. So let's start with the story of Kuda Mahachi. When this story started, we all believed that Kuda Mahachi was an evil person who took a jug of water and poured it on his son, Diego, resulting in injuries. Then he put him in a bus or a truck with a Malaicha, who then left him in Zimbabwe, and he got his legs amputated. So that was the original story, as put out by the media in the beginning. And of course, myself, I had made the same accusations on Kuda Mahachi. But there are new twists coming to this story. And today we want to explore the role of Aston Villa player, Zimbabwean, UK-based Zimbabwean player, Marvelous Nakamba, and how he is linked to this story, especially his mother, Charity Ngwenya. So what is happening here? And this story, when I started to go deeper into it, it brought about many aspects. A wife that is, an ex-wife that is jilted, that is out to get revenge. A friend who had a business dealing that went wrong. And a conman, Alvin Jakarta, a very bad conman who conned both people, Marvelous and Kuda, and destroyed their friendship. So let's go into the real story here. And the real story is that there is a smear campaign against Kuda Mahachi. And unfortunately, this smear campaign is affecting a young man, Diego, who had an operation yesterday, another operation yesterday. And there's obviously the angle of a journalist who is on rampage. He's going on a rampage, spreading one side and not wanting to hear the other side. And I think we need to be careful as journalists, obviously, when you're coming out with a story. Have you heard the other side? Have you approached those people to say, what is your side of the story? And I think in the case of Ezra Chisasmanda, he has not done that. He knows that Kuda Mahachi and Rose, they are in Bulawayo right now. But he has not made any effort to contact them to hear their side of the story. And he has been going with one side, which is the side of Marita Ndlovu, the ex-wife. And Marita is going on a rampage also, spreading false stories about Kuda Mahachi. And this is it's a spiral as we speak. But before I go into that, let's get started. And let's start with the mother of Marvelous Nakamba. The mother of Marvelous Nakamba, according to my sources, she is the one who took photos of young Diego at the hospital and then gave the photos to Ezra Chisasmanda, who published them. And the photos that she took, she, as a concerned mother, she felt that Diego had been abused as she was told by Marita. Unfortunately, that information turned out to be incorrect, as we have shown in the past few weeks. Diego was not burned. He had a sickness of the skin, which is well known. He was admitted for it before. But Marita manipulated that information to make it look like he was harmed by Kuda Mahachi and his wife Rose in South Africa. And when these photos went out, Ezra, obviously, I understand why he would come out with that story to say, this is what happened. But I think the mistake that happened here is that Ezra has not made an attempt to go and ask Kuda Mahachi for their side of the story. And I hope he does so, because they're there in Bulawayo. So, how did Charity Ngwenya become friends with Marita? You would want to know. Kuda Mahachi and Marvelous Nakamba, they were very close friends. In fact, I want to show you a picture. So let's go into this picture. You can see there. That's Marvelous at the center. That's Kuda on the left. And they're standing here. This was probably in 2021. In 2021, Marvelous Nakamba opened a state-of-the-art printing business in Johannesburg. And because they were such close friends, he gave responsibility for this business to Kuda Mahachi and his friend, Alvin Aluva Jakat, a conman that we all know right now that Alvin is a serious conman. He conned even the son of the president, Idi Mnangagwa. He conned him of money. He was entrusted by Marvelous Nakamba to run this business. And as to be expected, when you entrust Alvin with anything, the business collapsed. So that business did not do well. And Marvelous was furious, according to my sources. He was very, very furious. And he blocked Kuda Mahachi from his phone. He did not want to talk to him at all. So this is where the fight between Marvelous Nakamba and Kuda Mahachi started. Nakamba is blaming Kuda Mahachi of bringing down his business, although the person who actually brought down the business is the conman, Alvin Aluva Jakat. He's the guy who brought down this business. So this is the beginning of the fight. Obviously, the mother would know about that. Nakamba was planning to start this business in Johannesburg, have another branch in Bulawayo, have branches in Harare, and eventually go across the country. But because this business already failed, after he invested so much, you know how expensive printing business is. Marvelous obviously lost heart, and I don't think he went to Harare to start this business. So that's where the fight started. And given that there was a divorce going on between Marita and Kuda, Marita then became closer to Charity Ngwenya, the mother of Marvelous Nakamba. And according to my sources, she would go and visit and sleep over. And during this time, when she would go over and sleep, Marita would tell Charity that Kuda Mahachi was using satanic juju or the herbs, for soccer, for enhancing his soccer player. And that if he kept being close to Marvelous Nakamba, then Nakamba would lose his playing ability or lose his skills. And this is where the story of the juju comes in. There is a belief which was put out that Kuda Mahachi uses juju, and this was done by Marita. There was also a situation where Marita was saying she's not getting support from Kuda Mahachi, and Charity started to assist Marita with money, living expenses, and eventually she put down some money for a business, for Marita to start a business, which obviously Marita didn't start. She just took the money and used it. And my understanding, I asked Marita this yesterday, did Charity Ngoya buy you a phone? My understanding is that Charity Ngoya even bought Marita a phone. So you can see these two were closer and closer. And this is the beginning of how they started to take sides. One side, one person, obviously, if you believe a story from one side, you do not want to hear anything else. And because Kuda Mahachi is blocked, he cannot talk to Marvelous Nakamba, he cannot talk to Charity Ngwenya. And now we have a third factor, the journalist, who is spreading the story without considering the other side. So what am I trying to do here? I want you to understand that there is more to this than just a story of a child that was banned. Diego, I do not think, in my view, he was being abused here in South Africa. I just think that it was unfortunate that he had a medical condition and could have made the unfortunate decision to send him through the Malaysia. But the son was not abused here. He was not burnt with water. The medical reports are there for everyone to see. So that is basically the story of how eventually the story came out through the mother of Marvelous Nakamba, who put out the newspaper, the pictures to the newspapers. And this is Charity Ngwenya here, the mother of Marvelous Nakamba. Marvelous Nakamba, I think he plays for Aston Villa, and very close friends with Kuda Mahachi. You can see them here together before they started a business with this young conman who was stuck in Cameroon for months, and the young wife who is on a rampage to damage the image of Kuda Mahachi. This is the basic story. This is what it is. And it's unfortunate that it has got to where it is right now. This needs to come to an end. These guys need to talk, and this needs to be done to be fixed. In fact, Ezra has become part of the problem, because let me tell you some of the things that Ezra has done. Firstly, Ezra has gone on a fundraiser looking for money to get treatment for Diego. And this has all been done without, so Kuda is not allowed to go in there to see the son. Yesterday in an operation, he was not allowed to go in there. Ezra has gone out to fundraise for the treatment of Diego. And he's requesting people to put money into his bank account. According to some people in Australia, there was a meeting last week where Ezra requested that money be put into his bank account for the treatment of Diego. Ezra has ordered the nurses at Mpilo to stop Kuda and Rose from getting into the wards. And there is no update of what is happening to the father, who is in Bulawayo right now as we speak, who is signing for those operations to happen. When Mahachi wanted to take his son to Galen House, and my understanding is that Ezra went there and blocked the people at Galen House from allowing the child to be transferred to Galen House. In fact, he said this child should be kept at Mpilo Hospital because they've got a better unit there for children. This is what I've been hearing. And we need to sort this out, because the story that is out there is unfortunate. It's unfair to the father. It's unfair to the son. Am I saying Kuda Mahachi is totally perfect and is not making mistakes? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as journalists, we can become part of the problem. And I think in this case, Ezra has become part of the problem, and he needs to go back to the basics of journalism and get to hear both sides of the story. If I was him, I would find these guys and have an interview with them. And also, if the allegations that I'm hearing are true, that money is exchanging hands between Charity and Ezra, it would be rather unfortunate, because it's clear that Marita is on a rampage. She is a very, very bitter woman who wants to damage the career of Kuda Mahachi forever. And as I've said to you, there are many issues here. There's an issue of the fallout between Nakamba and Kuda Mahachi, the mother who believes that her son is going to be bewitched, and also the ex-wife who is totally out to get revenge. This is what it is. And I'm sure that as time goes on, everything will be resolved. But the facts are now there. We've put the fact out in the public domain. Let's see what happens next. Nice. I think I want to wrap this up. It's 16 minutes. Let's look at the comments here. I want to look. Milton, you're saying Ezra Cheswanda, he's cooking and frying here. Okay, I want you guys to know that I respect Ezra a lot. He does a lot of work in Bulawayo. There is very few journalists there in Bulawayo. So he does a lot of work around Bulawayo. But I think sometimes there is a little bit of advocacy. Like in this case, he's become part of the story. And I think he needs to step back. I've said this before. He needs to step back and say, what are the facts of this story? And then we'll take it from there. Let's go to King. You're saying Gambako Ezra asked Kuda Mahachi questions, but Kuda Mahachi refused to comment and even tried chasing him, car chasing him. I do not see this. And I think you cannot have one side of the story. That is the basic of what I'm saying here. I'm giving you the angles of everything, where it started. I hope I've given you enough new information today. Libert is saying according to my sources. Yes, my sources. You remember those days when I used to have sources. Now I don't have sources. Let's go to I want to look at someone else here. Gambakwe ZANU-PF. I don't do politics. I'm a media company owner. And then Milton is saying, Ezra Chisa, Smanda hoza lapa. Uti uyu problem. Not or whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying Ezra is a problem. I'm just giving an angle. And to me, it's very important to go deeper. So we've gone deeper here. And then Helen is saying the whole story is such a mess and the child is suffering. True. If only this child could see his father and his mother and all the relatives. They love him. There's no one here who wants to harm this child. But what has happened is adults fighting over business, fighting over love affairs and relationships. You all know that Marita had an extramarital affair and had a child with another man when she was married to Kuda. Fighting over maintenance, fighting over fines, money. All these things are affecting the child. And the child is not going to benefit anything at all from this. And obviously, journalists coming out trying to get a spook and going with a sensational story without it digging deeper. You need to dig deeper to get the whole story. And I hope we've done it today. So the main players in this story, as we said, they're there, they're clear. Kuda Mahachi, Marvelous Nakamba, Charity Ngwe, Maritan Love, Alvin Aluva, the conman, Jakarta. So if you look at this, It's like a movie. Like I said to you, this is a movie. It's something that you cannot even imagine would happen. And then you have the smear campaign. Right, I think that is it for today. Let me see if I forgot anything here. If you want to see this, you can go to gambakwe.com. Everything that I just said here, you can find it there on gambakwe.com. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll be back again tomorrow with Mr. Tinashe Jonasi. We want to talk economics. Talk about the Zimbabwean economy. And by the way, Marvelous Nakamba today was in Budiriro at a certain school. And I think he's going to be opening his sports center in Bulawayo. So he's doing a great job. But this is a whole mess. I don't think he should be involved in all this. He's doing very, very well. And he should try to solve this thing before it gets out of hand. Thank you very much and good night.
Kuno aho pano mama wanna get it nice. I know food I meso, I know food I tebe, I know kaya marigi. Don't come. Don't come
Kambakwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa pane nyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugovane.com. Kambakwe vanogaya mari vanotara mari vanoziya mari. Kambakwe vanotara feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei. Vanhu terere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei. Mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere. Kambakwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotara straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence.
Entertainment, current affairs and news. Kambakwe.com. Usasarire Kambakwe anukaya mari.